Okay, and we are live. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Stuart here from Spain Speaks. Another live stream, Tuesday evening, 7:35 p.m. Spain mainland time, Madrid time, of course, different time down there in the Canaries. And today, as usual, we're going to go through some of the main stories that have caught my attention in the press. We'll also have a look at a couple of comments that have been left on videos recently. A fair bit of debate about wine here in Spain again. Always an interesting topic, wine, of course. And then at the end of the live stream, or the second half of the live stream, we'll go into the chat section and check out what the activity is there. So if you've got something to add to the debate, please, the chat section is the place for you. Now, we'll have a look at the first piece of news today, which is related to inflation here in Spain. And unfortunately, the data is not very good. The government won't be happy with these figures because, as we can see here, inflation rebounds to 6.1% and accelerates for the second month in a row. The inflation curve will not be lowered with the same speed at which it rose, and the trajectory towards more normal levels is plagued by ups and downs. In February, prices rose by 6.1%, 0.2 of a percentage point higher than the 5.9% in January, according to data published on Tuesday by the INE, the National Statistics Institute, I should say. This continues the upward trend that began at the turn of the year when a 5-month favourable streak came to an end, coinciding with the end of the bonus for drivers to buy cheaper fuel at petrol stations. High food prices and higher electricity prices are taking their toll. So that's where we are at with inflation currently, again hitting that 6% mark compared to last year's figures, of course, and the monthly change also high there because food prices basically have gone up. There's no discount on fuel anymore here in Spain. And as we saw there, electricity prices also quite high, given the fact that renewables weren't really working too well during the month of January, hence the higher prices apparently. So again, more issues for the government when it comes to inflation. We know that they are hoping to get it down to decent levels this year, but not sure whether it's going to be the case. And when it comes to food prices, as we saw there, one of the reasons for high inflation at the moment, and we can see here that according to Eduardo Moyano, a food chain expert, we still have months of high food inflation ahead of us. High food prices have become a huge headache for consumers and a new point of internal disagreement within the government over measures to curb price rises. Eduardo Moyano, doctor in agricultural engineering and researcher at the Spanish National Research Council, says that the complexity of the agri-food system makes it inadvisable to make simple diagnoses of price rises and predicts that they will remain high for some months to come. We are going to continue to have high inflation until the weather or the geopolitical situation changes, predicts this expert in the food chain who defends the reduction in VAT approved by the government for basic products, although the consumer hardly notices yet. And that is true. Every time I go to the supermarket, you can see those food prices increasing, especially when it comes to fruit and veg, meat products as well. And that's where people are getting hit at the moment here in Spain. But I'm sure that is the case in other countries around the world where inflation is an issue. Now, I'm going to put the like icon on the screen here quickly. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please do so, just below the video, and we'll see if we can get up to a decent tally of likes today. Currently sitting at 33. Let's see if we can get to the 50 mark of likes today. Let's hope. Now, the third piece of news, this one here, get it out of the way. Roads cut off by heavy snow across Spain, up to 60 roads affected. The State Meteorological Agency, the AEMET, has issued a new update on the recent weather episode that has caused the drop in temperatures, heavy snowfall in some parts of the country, intense gusts of wind and waves. In this sense, the massive cold air of Arctic origin that has entered the northeast of the peninsula has also caused the snow level to drop, even to sea level, and we have seen in the Balearic Islands and Catalonia. For this reason, the Directorate General of Traffic has already issued a warning through official channels to inform the public that the storm is already affecting a total of 60 roads throughout the country. In the Balearic Islands, where the snow is affecting the most, mainly in the Tramonta mountain range, 11 roads on the secondary network remain closed due to this meteorological phenomenon. So the Balearic Islands being hit hard by this Arctic storm, as we can see here, and other roads in the country, mainly in the northern half of the country, I think, affected by heavy snowfall, and roads also being cut off. Roads have been cut off due to the snow. So if you're driving around the country at the moment, be careful. And if you see the civil guard or the police telling you to get off the road, probably better to heed their advice, considering that you could get into trouble if you are not experienced driving in very icy conditions, which will be the next step, of course, after the snow. And I, for one, do not like driving anywhere where it has snowed recently. Luckily, we haven't had a snowstorm for a couple of years, but you never know what is just around the corner. Now, the final piece of news today related to electric vehicles, the ongoing story. And according to this article, Spain now has more electric vehicles than public recharging points. In 2022, only 4,717 public charging points were installed in Spain. This means that there are a total of 18,128 public charging points in Spain, according to the data from the fourth quarter of the Electromobility Barometer prepared by the Manufacturers Association. This is an insignificant figure for decarbonising the car fleet, even more so if one takes into account that last year should have ended with a total of 45,000 public access charging points, which are necessary to meet the objectives of the National Integrated Energy and Climate Plan. As a result, 36,452 all-electric vehicles, passenger cars, commercial vehicles, industrial vehicles, buses and quads were registered in Spain last year, which accounted for 3.8% of the total market and 31.2% more than in 2021, according to ANFAC data. So still a problem when it comes to charging your EV if you have one, and no doubt you will know the problems finding one of these charging points. We've been talking about this a fair bit on the channel recently. Some people have said that they are having problems finding points. Some people say that you need to get an app to find out where these points are, and hopefully no one's there when you decide to charge your car. But we still have a fair way to go here in Spain when it comes to charging points for electric vehicles, even though, as we saw there, electric vehicle sales are up. Just getting the exact figure, 31.2% more sold last year than in 2021. So we're heading in the right direction, I think, when it comes to electric vehicles, or at least what the government would like us to be driving in the future. But unfortunately, the infrastructure is still not in place. So if you've got an EV, let us know some of the trials or problems that you can have here in Spain with one of those vehicles. Now, into the comments. Let's see some comments that have been left on videos recently. The first one here from Lisa Jane. Mercadona sell a decent wine called Indimito 2E. My son is a wine snob, and he thought it was at least €6 a bottle. Sorry, that's €2 a bottle. That should be there. My son is a wine snob, and he thought it was at least €6 a bottle. He pays like 20 plus. Also, they have, they sell a red called the Governor for €2.80. The Governor. And the wine in question that Lisa Jane points out for €2 a bottle is this one here, Indomito Chardonnay, 2021 variety. And for €2 a bottle, according to Lisa Jane, a decent drop. And also the Governor for €2.80, which I haven't found a picture of. But Mercadona, although limited in choice, you can normally buy a decent drop there. They have very good providers, and I think the secret of Mercadona is to not have a lot of range, but high-quality products of the products that they do have. And that is the characteristic. So rather than go to a big supermarket where there's hundreds of bottles of wine on sale and it's a bit of a hit and miss scenario, Mercadona 5 or 6, and you normally get a decent wine for the price. And Lisa Jane recommending that one there. So thanks for the input. And your son is a wine snob. I found that interesting. paying around 20 for a bottle. So, could be a wine snob here in Spain if you're paying 20 for a bottle of wine. Well, if you can afford it, that is out of my price range, unfortunately. Another comment here from Chris. The problem with aggressive dogs is hardly ever the breed. It's nearly always the owners. Now, this debate popped up yesterday. We started talking about this because of a British lady that unfortunately lost her life because she was bitten by a pit bull. She decided to take the pit bull in. It was an abandoned pit bull down there in Valencia. Somebody abandoned the dog for whatever reasons. We know that the abandonment of pit bulls is high in this country. This lady decided to take the dog in, give it a new home. The dog turned, bit her on the face. She went into some type of cardiac arrest and didn't survive the attack. So that was the news that we saw yesterday. And Chris pointing out here that aggressive dogs, hardly ever the breed, always the owners. And yeah, I think there's some truth in that. And as I said yesterday, you quite often see people walking around with these big, strong dogs. They have trouble to control them. Sometimes they're off the lead, off the leash, and you get a bit worried when they do come up to you. But of course, you have to trust the owner has educated the dog or trained the dog to be a decent dog. But it is a problem, and as we saw, that woman unfortunately losing her life down there in Valencia because of that dog attack. But thanks, Chris, for the comment. Another one here from Malcolm, also on the topic of wine. Again, Mercadona, they sell a Merlot for $2.90. I wonder if that's the governor. And it's great. So another recommendation there for a wine, €2.90. So we are hitting some fairly cheap prices when it comes to wine. But again, it's all about what you like when it comes to wine. If you like a wine for €2.90, if you find it to your liking, fantastic. I'm going to have to try those wines and see. In fact, I might do a trip I might travel to Mercadona tomorrow and buy some of those wines and see if they are any good or if they are to my liking, which, as we know, is the most important thing. A wine is good if you like it. So thanks, Malcolm, for that one there. I'll check it out, €2.90. If I could know the name, it would be better. But it's a Merlot. Another comment here from Grain. Volvo is Bolbo. Again, the topic of pronunciation here in Spain. I said that some Spanish people have trouble with the letter W, the pronunciation of the letter W. And for those people that are advanced in their Spanish learnings, they will know that there's virtually no difference between the way the V sound is pronounced in Spanish and the B sound. And the example that we have there, Bolbo. Tengo un Bolbo en el garaje. And the car manufacturer BMW here in Spain is BMW. So it's like BMW. They don't even try to pronounce the W, BMW. It's BMW for whatever reason. I've got no idea. It's clear that it's BMW, but Spanish people like to say BMV for whatever reason. Don't know. And that's one word, Volvo, with two Vs, Bolbo. And it can be a little bit confusing, especially when you talk about things like vaca, el animal, or vaca del coche. Which one are you talking to? Of course, it all depends on context. So V and B can get mixed up. And thanks for pointing that out. Who was that? Grain. Thanks for pointing that out there, that Volvo is pronounced Bolbo here in Spain. So, vete comprar un Volvo. Another comment here from Susana, Madrid. The debate between long-term and short-term rentals should be judged negatively only if the accommodation is totally private, where the owner is not present. Because otherwise, prohibiting short-term rentals of rooms in homes where the owner is present would go against the right to private property. I think Susana means against there. Now, this debate also popped up yesterday because somebody said that if you limit Airbnb, you are infringing on people's property rights. But the problem, as far as I see it, is that a lot of big corporations have got involved in short-term rentals in this country, and I imagine other countries around the world as well, and they have affected the market with their presence. What Susanna mentions here is that if you have a spare room in your home and you're living there and you rent it out to somebody through Airbnb, there's no problem. It's just like the traditional B&B in places like the United Kingdom. When I was there many, many years ago, you would go into somebody's home. They would rent a room to you. They'd give you breakfast the next day. Fantastic. But the Airbnb's turned into a business where a lot of the times you go there, firstly, there's no breakfast, so the Airbnb, the name's wrong. And secondly, you don't even see the people who own the house. Sometimes they just give you a code to put into some type of machine to open the door, and everything's automated. You don't have any contact with the owner at all, and that's the problem. And I think that's what Susanna is referring to there. So if you start to affect that type of Airbnb, maybe we need to distinguish between the two. Not sure. Between the big corporations that are in this type of business, or people that are exploiting the market, or the traditional B&Bers that want to rent out a room in their home or a couple of rooms in their home, as I said before, which was traditional back in the UK in the day. Not sure if it still exists. Do traditional B&Bs still exist in the UK where you could get a nice cup of tea and a nice English breakfast in the morning staying at somebody's home? Do they still exist, or has the model there changed too? Please let me know in that comment section. And the final comment that was left from Philip: Stu, have you sampled the various vermouth of Spain? Curious if that agrees with your palate. Yeah, not a big vermouth, as they call it here, drinker. Vermouth, I think you pronounce it that way. Vermouth, another one here with the V. The pronunciation in Spain is with a B. Vermouth. It is quite popular. It's there's a bit of a revival going on with vermouth. There are different bars around the country that are specializing in that now. And a lot of people recently that I have been having the aperitivo with are choosing vermouth instead of beer. Like I said, it's a little bit trendy at the moment, but I'm not a huge drinker of that. Maybe every now and again, if it's a special occasion, or I go to one of these specialty bars where they have it, but I'm not going to be buying the martini at the supermarket and things like that, which a lot of people do. But it is, as I said, making a resurgence in this country is vermouth. All right, good. Now, time to go into the comment section or the chat section here tonight, see what's happening in the live stream. Firstly, the like icon back on the screen. If you haven't hit the like icon yet, please do so. We'll see if we can get up to a decent tally. Whether you are on Facebook or YouTube, wherever you're watching, hit the like button and we'll see if we can get up to 100 maybe today. Let's see. Now, I'm also going to change the backdrop. This one was sent in from Igor, and it's an interesting picture. People having lunch at a traditional restaurant down there on the coast, I would say, given the amount of seafood that is on offer. And we can see some of the prices there. We've got calamares a la romana, €9.90, I think that is, if I can read that price there. Calamares andaluza, same price. What else we got there? We've got some clams. What else we got? A few other mixed dishes, I suppose. And I suppose the idea is that you go up to the counter, look at the plate, order it, they take it away, they fry it, they cook it, and that same plate with that same quantity comes back to you on the table. And it looks to be a fairly busy restaurant from what I can see. And lots of other seafood there in the fridges. Different types of prawns, langostino, mariscada, I think we've also got there. So thanks, Igor, for sending that one in. And if you've got a picture similar to this one or another picture of Spain, whether it's a shot like this one taken in a restaurant or a scenic shot, this is the address to send it through to, spainspeaks@gmail.com. So please send them through. The more the better. Now into the chat section, as I said. Let's see if we can get some decent chats today. Hope there's not too much controversy going on in the chat section. Normally no, but you never know. Kevin coming in from a cool Martos down there in Jaén, 11 degrees at the moment. I think it's cool all over mainland Spain at the moment. Quite chilly, Kevin. Here in Madrid, it got up to 9 degrees Celsius today. Very cold nights. When I took my son to school this morning, it was 4 below, freezing. And the windscreen was dirty and the water was frozen, so I couldn't clean it. So it was a bit of a problem. But anyway, the temperature got a bit warmer as the day progressed. Ed coming in from Barcelona, 10 degrees there and cloudy. Yes, snow, as we saw in the Barcelona province. Not sure whether it's hit the city, but good luck with that. James coming in with Kathy. James and Kathy coming in from Worcester, home of the sauce, the famous Worcestershire sauce. Here on a cold, grey and rainy day, but a log fire keeping us cosy with a nice Spanish Jumilla red Gaston Syrah. Shiraz, yeah. So James sent a few pictures through, I think, recently, James, of Jumilla. I think that was you who sent them through. So you're obviously enjoying that wine. Somebody sent a picture through the other day of a boot full of wine from that area. I think it might have been James, I'm not sure, but somebody sent me that one through. And we'll have a look at that one on the backdrop in a couple of weeks' time. But an interesting photo and an interesting wine area, one of the wine areas that flies under the radar, unless you're living in Murcia, that is. Vincent coming in from Dublin, getting a bit colder, but mostly dry. Good to see that it is not so wet in Dublin. Normally I get the impression that Dublin is quite a wet city. What else we got going on? Andrew coming in from southeast London, hoping we are well. Yes, we are, Andrew, for the moment. Mugger coming in from El Campello. Chris coming in from Alora in the Bay del Sol. We saw a comment from Chris earlier about the dangerous dogs. Sani coming in, not sure from where, saying hello to everybody. Hello, Sani. Jonathan coming in from Uruguay. Haven't heard from Jonathan for a while. Hope all is well down there in the Uruguay. Philip, we also saw a comment from Philip recently as well. Feliz Dia de Andalucía, desde una Málaga soleada. A lot of museums here in Malaga have been free today to celebrate our day. Yes, the Andalucía Day, the day that I imagine the day that Andalucía became an autonomous community here in Spain. I imagine that's what you celebrate, the 28th of February. And a lot of people on holiday down there, they would have taken the day off yesterday. Always handy to have a Monday in the middle of that public holiday to make a puente, as they call it. And lots of people, no doubt, travelled to different parts of Andalucía. Frank coming in from a cold, Crawley, United Kingdom. Elaine coming in from a snowy Chatham, New Jersey, the first snowfall of the year, I think. Shoveled the walks, and the drive-over was cleaned by the snowplow guy. We don't have a snowplow guy here where we are, Elaine. If it gets too snowy, you got to take care of those things yourself. No such thing as a snowplow guy in Madrid. Simon coming in from Lanzarote, cloudy, but normal weather down there. Amanda coming in from Shropshire in the UK. Richard coming in from North Yorkshire. Jacques coming in from South Africa. A bankrupt South Africa, says Jacques. Don't know what's going on there as far as the money is concerned. But a worry if South Africa is bankrupt, no doubt. Hilde coming in from the Costa Blanca. Not Hilde, although I'm sure people in Spain would say that. Hilde. What else we got going on? Tobias, long time no see, from central Alabama. Spring has definitely arrived there. Unfortunately, here not yet. I think we've got another 6 weeks of winter, the way it's going, as the old groundhog would say. Tony coming in from a cold UK, going to Tenerife for a week Saturday. Can't wait. Yeah, I'm sure you are looking forward to that, Tony. Mick coming in from Moreira down there in the Valencian community as well. Richard coming in from a chilly Valencia, so it's cold down there as well. I think I thought I was correct when I said before that it's a chilly mainland Spain today. Renan coming in from snowy California. Lowell coming in from a wet UK. What else we got going on? Everywhere's cold except for Alora, which has been sunny and 17 degrees today. Lucky Chris, he says. Yeah, Chris, lucky all right. 17 degrees Celsius. I wouldn't mind that. Elaine's saying that the live in 3 minutes, and another part says started streaming 3 minutes ago. Not sure what's going on there. Just let me check that the live stream is working. Maybe there's an issue. Yeah, it is working as far as I can see, so it should be okay. Thanks for that, Elaine. Hope you work out the tech problems. Andrew's given some advice. Try refreshing the page. Always seems to work. Refreshing normally works for him. Yeah, so that would be the way to go, I think. Refreshing the page. Natalie also coming in from Almeria. Pauline coming in looking smart today, she says, with the nice haircut. Yeah, I got the haircut yesterday. I went to my new barber, €10 special. A little bit short on the sides, I think. But apart from that, it's a decent haircut, which I'm happy about. I've recently changed barbers. €10 special, as I said. Thanks for the compliment, Pauline. Joe coming in from a wet, windy, and even shockingly snowy Santa Cruz, California. Seems winter is disinterested in making way for spring all over. Seems to be that way, Joe. As I said, another 6 weeks of winter, I think, here. Or maybe the weather will get better next week. I'm not sure. Hild saying that we have 2 charging points for EVs in the garage of the Mercadona. Well, hopefully there's only 2 cars that can use those things. You wouldn't want too many electric cars trying to get to those two points, Hild. Get a bit of a problem. You might get some type of road rage with people trying to charge their cars for too long, which I can see will be a problem in the future. When people just leave their cars charging, go into the shopping centre, whereas when you fill up with fuel, you know that in 5 minutes normally you're done and dusted, you're out of there. But I see electric cars sometimes charging for long periods of time, which obviously is necessary. Thanks for the input. Robert coming in from Colombia. Nice and sunny as always. There we go. Colombia. I imagine it's tropical in most of the country there. Hence the growing conditions for some products. Ronnie coming in from Benihofa, Chile tonight. Robert saying that he's in Cali, Colombia. Kirk coming in from Florida, Cape Coral, Florida, or Cape Coral, they would say in Spanish. What else got going on here? Iggy coming in from Jaén, of course, Andalusia Day down there. Not working today, Iggy, therefore in the live stream. Now, I'm just going to change I'll leave this picture up for a couple of minutes more. I'll put the like icon back on the screen. If you haven't hit it yet, please do so. We're up to 96. We should be able to hit the 100 mark. Let's see if we can get over the 100 mark. So hit that like button whether you are on Facebook, YouTube, or wherever you are watching the video today. So I'm looking at this food here. I'm actually getting quite hungry. I'm going to be honest. Looking at some of that seafood there. Some of that seafood. Nice fish. Would go down a treat at the moment. Not necessarily the fried calamares. A little bit fattening, of course. Maybe the calamares andaluza. What's the difference between the two? Between the andaluz and the romana? Is it the way it is fried? Is it the taste? Let us know. What else we got going on here? Andrew saying vino, bino. Absolutely. Un vino, por favor, with the B. Un vino. Un vino. That's exactly right, yeah. You would think that it was spelt with a B if you heard a Spanish person say that word. Vino. Elaine saying here also, is W in the alphabet W or W? I think there's various ways to say it, to be honest. You can say W, W, W. You can also say as well. So there's different ways to say it. I don't think they say doble U. I don't think they say that. They say doble ube. The V. Ube. W. We say W, but the Spanish say double V. And if you look at the W, you could come to that conclusion that it is a double B. A double V, sorry, not double B. Thanks for pointing that out, Elaine. Alan saying, don't be brainwashed into buying or owning an EV. Again, it's not a question, it's more of a statement, but I get the point. Don't be brainwashed into buying an EV. Well, a lot of people are buying EVs. A lot of people seem to like them. I haven't gone down the EV path yet, but of course I don't own my car. I just rent it from the bank. So maybe when my renting agreement comes up, when it finishes, I might choose some type of EV, whether it's a hybrid or maybe a fully electric. Depends what the bank's got on offer, basically. But as I said, I'm not going to buy another car, I don't think. I'm just going to lease it or rent it or whatever you say in other parts. Luke saying that Volkswagen becomes Volkswagen. Yeah, they say Volkswagen, Volkswagen, I think they say. Volkswagen. Belinda coming in from San Francisco, California. City regulates number of days and mandates taxes be paid, and it's all documented in an effort to limit short term so residents can maybe find housing. There we go. San Francisco dealing with the crisis there. I think San Francisco does have a housing crisis. Thanks for the input there, Belinda. There are ways that governments can regulate, and I think that what they need to do is to be able to distinguish between the hedge funds, for example, that are involved with short-term rentals and the true B&B owners, that, you know, people that are just renting out a room or some part of their home and providing breakfast the next day, which, as I said, used to happen in the UK. And according to CH, still alive and well. There we go. So you can still get a traditional B&B. And it's one thing that I did like about the United Kingdom travelling around the UK back in the day, was that you could go to someone's home and get a nice warm bed. Of course, I won't talk about carpet on the floor and things like that, which we know is quite common in England and Australia. Here you don't see carpet, of course, but you do get a nice warm bed and a nice breakfast in the morning. Absolutely, still alive and well in England at least. What else we got going on here? Gin, G&T, I think that is mum's Timothy's mum's favourite. Gin and Italian red vermouth. There we go. Gin and IT, or gin and it, is it? I don't know. Fantastic. Thanks for that. So obviously into that type of drink. Ed coming in about Ireland. B&B standards and quality much higher than hotels. More personal and comfortable. Better value for money. That's been in my experience, at least. As I said, travelling in the United Kingdom. I haven't been to the Republic of Ireland, but I've been to the north. And I did stay in a B&B in Belfast, which I still remember to this day as a very nice accommodation it was. But this was, 30 years ago in Belfast when I was there. But I imagine it's common throughout also the Republic, I imagine. What else we got going on here? Iggy loving the picture today. Variety of deliciousness. Absolutely. I'm going to be changing it shortly because, as I said, my stomach is rumbling looking at this food here, especially those croquetas. So I'm going to change the backdrop, put another one up. But if you've got a picture similar to this one that you'd like sent in, this one was sent in by Igor, as we said. Got another one coming in from Tina and Les. This was taken in the Canaries. I think it was Gran Canaria. And I'm going to put this one up, not because it's a work of art as far as a photo is concerned, but because it shows you how crazy the traffic here in Spain can be. And we had this discussion a few weeks ago, I think, of crazy places to put pedestrian crossings and roundabouts. And this one here takes the cake. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this anywhere here in Spain. But apparently down there in the Canaries, this actually does exist. Now, I'm going to get out of the way so we can see it, but so we've got a car coming out of the car park. Let's put this into context here. We've got a car coming out of a car park. Car park looks busy. One car's just gone into the car park, this green one here. But this white one, as we can see here, is coming out of the car park. And just where the cars come out of the car park, there's a pedestrian crossing. So if a person were crossing the street at that particular point, they would have to deal with cars coming out of that car park. Now, the question I have when I look at a picture like this is that person that designed that still in a job? Because he should have got sacked for this. And I'm surprised that they just don't take those white lines off the street and make it safe for pedestrians. How could you think that putting that there is safe for anybody, let alone somebody walking with a pram or maybe somebody in a wheelchair? And look at the footpath, look at the sidewalk that we've got there. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So urban planning at its worst here in Spain. And as I said, I think it's Gran Canaria. I'm not sure. It's sent in by Tina and Liz. So if you've got a picture like this one that you would like to see on the backdrop, the address is this one here, spainspeaks@gmail.com. Crazy things that you will see in Spain when it comes to driving and trying to cross the road. Amazing. All right, what else we got going on here? Ease. Valencia is freezing at the moment, 11 degrees. Yeah, I imagine that it would be cold down there given the humidity that you get off that Mediterranean EES method. And that's the worst thing about it. 11 degrees in Valencia, probably with that sensation, probably like 5 or 6 degrees. So not comfortable, absolutely. What else we got going on here? Yes, mouths are watering. Jonathan down in Uruguay, been on the go a bit, so haven't tuned in. Things here there are fine. Summer still. I'll be back in Spain during the northern summer. All right, great, Jonathan. I think you were here last year, if I remember correctly. Let us know if you pop by Madrid. Let us know. Rose are coming in from Cheshunt, I think that is, if I pronounced that correctly. I'm not sure. Cheshunt, probably. Cold and feeling miserable. Rose are coming in on Facebook. Mark coming in from, left Mallorca this morning, says Mark. For a spell in the UK, absolutely treacherous conditions, so much rain, 90-kilometre winds, loads of snow in the Tramontana, and a very bumpy takeoff. Glad we made it. Yeah, flying during those conditions, I imagine. Not easy, Mark, but good to see that you're back in the UK safely. All right, what else we got going on here? Shangan coming in from rural Victoria, Ballarat, to be exact. La Cucina de Papa is coming in here as well. Let's have a look here what they say here. How do we get over the fear of moving abroad on retirement where there is no family other than your spouse? Wouldn't being alone be bad for your physical and mental health? Don't know. Some people don't mind being alone. Everybody's different, of course, but yeah, I'm not sure if I can answer that question, but I'll put it out there for other people to have a crack at. Thanks for that. Barbara coming in as well from Chile, LA, California. Always enjoying the videos. Sean the Prawn coming in from Dublin. Chris has responded to La Cucina. Seafood looks delicious, says Barbara. Yeah, it did look quite delicious, of course, provided that it's fresh. Diablo just bought a guzzling Range Rover Sport. Can't be bothered with the EV idea. We've got a few years to go before those cars will be banned. I think we've got until 2035. We can still buy diesel and petrol cars. The question a lot of people are going to have is how much are we going to be paying for fuel? I think that's the question. But more and more people seem to be moving towards EVs. And like I said, when my rental agreement comes up with my current car, I'll see what's on offer. Whatever I can afford. I might not be able to afford anything decent. Don't know. We'll wait and see. What else we got going on here? Let's have a look here quickly. Alan says the live stream is fine. Shiny things. Thanks for the entertainment during dinner here in cold Galicia. So cold there as well. Andy coming in talking about a villa that they bought in Playa Flamenca. Okay, I thought you were referring to someone else. Scott, I didn't know who Scott was, but I think he was referring to me. Yeah, what to expect in Spain. Thanks again, Andy. Nottingham, UK. Yeah, glad that you find the videos interesting, Andy. What else we got going on here? €10 is a cheap haircut, according to Alan. His daughter charges him 20. It is what it is. Yeah, so your daughter charging you 20 for a haircut. Yeah, 10 is cheap. I go to a local barber. He's just opened up his shop, charging 10. Only accepts cash, so he hasn't got a little one of those little machines. Can't remember what they're called. Hasn't got one of those yet. So it's only cash business. So I pulled out a tenner and slapped it in his hand, and away I went. Rich coming in from Galicia. What else we got going on here quickly in the chat section before we wrap it up today? We're up to 38 minutes, so a couple of minutes more. Angela coming in from wet and windy Menorca. You know, I imagine that the Balearics, it's affecting all the islands, this weather. Ted asking for likes. We're up to 135, Ted. I don't think we'll get up to 150 considering that there's only 165 people watching. I think that's a bit out of the question, but thanks for reminding people, Ted. Let's have a look. El Davido. Let's have a look. David's coming in here as well. Where are the Menú del Dia videos? I'm a bit pressed for time at the moment, Dave. I'm trying to get one organised. I did one down in Murcia, but the quality of the video, leaves a little bit to be desired. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to post that one or not. I'm working on it. I used the wrong camera, but I'll see if I can clean the image up and improve the sound, because it's pretty bad on both levels. But if I get time this week and the weather permits, I'll do an outdoor Menú del Día video. I should be able to get one out, but don't hold your breath. That's what I would say this week at least. What else we got going on here? Let's have a look. Dave, checking in late, been paying a fence, is the US correspondent Dave. What's the weather like over there in Florida, Dave? Still good? It's freezing here. Lucky you got out of Madrid. That's all I can say. You might have to head somewhere for a bit of warmth, and you know where I mean. Diablo, Super Chat, thank you very much. Been a while since you chipped in. Thank you very much for your generosity, €20. Thanks for that. Greatly appreciated. And also thanks to other people that have supported the channel. Last week we had a few people support the channel, so thank you very much for that support. It's greatly appreciated. And of course, as we know, the contributions are going towards wine for my Menú del Día videos, which I have been putting out on a regular basis, but this week a little bit difficult, last week too. But definitely €20 will go towards a decent bottle of wine, as the contribution that we got the other day from Gina. I think it was $40 Canadian, which I'm going to look into getting a decent bottle of wine for that. But I don't want to become a wine snob, so I'm going to keep it real when it comes to wine. Lol coming in here saying that used to love Gambas Pil Pil when they lived in Andalusia in the early 90s. Washed it down with a local Frigilian wine from Frigiliana. That was so strong, it could have stripped the paint off the walls. Yeah, probably that was the case. Exactly right. Thanks for that, Lol. Gambas Pil Pil. What else got going on here? Dave saying that painting an oil stain on a type of wood there in Florida, I think Dave is still currently. What else we got going on here? Let's have a look here quickly. Pigsy, hi Stuart, had a chance to move to Reus near Malaga a couple of months off season. Have you ever been? Cheers from Ireland. No, I haven't been to Reus, not yet, but Catalonia is a place that is on my list. I've been to some parts, but it was in my pre-video days, so I haven't recorded anything from that part of the world. But I'm looking to get out as much as I can in coming times. I'm going to try and do a travel video every month, but of course, family permitting and other things like that. And at the moment, difficult because my English teaching is taking up a lot of my time. Fortunately, but unfortunately, if you know what I mean. Warm and sunny still in Florida. Yeah, rub it in, Dave. Rub it in. What else we got going on here? 26 degrees currently. And Diablo saying, yeah, you don't want to become a wine snob nor an alcoholic. No, we'll try to keep the alcohol under control, of course. Not easy. When you live in a country like Spain, especially at the weekends, you tend to start drinking beers and end up drinking copas by the end of the day. So you have to keep it under control. But yeah, wouldn't want to become a wine snob. Absolutely not. Now, I've come to the end of the chat, so thank you very much for all of the activity there today. I hope you guys like the pictures that I put up in the background. And we'll be back again on Thursday, same time, 7:35. I've got to start 5 minutes later because I've got a class up until 7:30. I need that little 5-minute break to get everything set up when it comes to the lights, the camera, and the backdrop and things like that. But I'll be back again on Thursday. Thanks for your participation in the chat, as I mentioned, watching the video also. Hopefully, I'll see you guys again on Thursday. Thanks for hitting that like button. Greatly appreciated. If you haven't done so, just do it again quickly. And as I said, I'll see you guys again later in the week. Have a great day. Hasta luego. Hasta entonces. Buenas noches.